today, offensive, defensively? Any drives, any particular players?
Yeah, I think there's a turnover, possibly too. Offense, did fairly well, specifically in the second half of the scrimmage. But like I said, I think the big thing for me is just getting the information we need. That's the second scrimmage. We will scrimmage one more time in front of the fans, and that'll be about a half of football, and then we got some other really neat things that are fan-friendly that I think the fans will really enjoy, for the spring game.
What was something that maybe the offense or the defense didn't do well in the first scrimmage that you wanted to see improved in this scrimmage, or something different?
Yeah, really I just challenged them from a physicality standpoint, to come out there and let's have some good licks and all that. It sounded a lot better today. Really, the offense really got, for the first time, got some pace going. It was great for the offense. It was great for the defense, too.
Coach, you talked about kind of assessing the team in a big picture. What was today's assessment? Were you trying to get a little bit more intricate with the team, or what was your?
No, it was really more of identifying our strengths on both sides of the football. Really evaluating our guys. We got really good information on the guys that played before. Okay, and we got quite a few guys that have played really good in the past. But the new guys coming in and how they're fitting with their teammates, and can they help? Next year, and so after the second scrimmage, you're starting to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle, trying to predict, what you have for next year. And then this last week, we'll start being a little more specific. And as soon as we get done with spring, we'll have all the information we need, and we'll get the best plans possible, really, in all three phases moving forward.
Gus, there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of days about spring games, teams maybe being interested in playing each other in spring instead of doing their own self-spring games. Has that ever kind of crossed your mind about this idea of maybe facing another school, in a spring game, and how would something like that benefit a school?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I'm open to that if that's what everybody wants to do. It changes some things dynamically, and, the health of your team and everything goes with that. But if that's what, there's been so many changes in college football. If that happened, put me in line, I'd be fine with it.
Coach, I hope this makes sense, but with you not calling plays, are you able to observe practice a little differently, these scrimmages, and get that information?
Yeah, it's been really good for me just to kind of, hear Darren and how he processes everything, and then really keep an eye on the defense too, big picture, the things. And so it's new for me, but at the same time, it's been good for me.
What would you say about the development of the quarterback so far in spring? Obviously, there's 3 scholarship guys in there. How is that going?
Yeah, I think you've seen them improve, each practice. We have a whole bunch of new stuff. And so, quarterbacks have to process everything. And it takes a while before you just get used to the process and you go ahead and be able to be reactive. And I think we're getting to a point with a lot of the new stuff where they're getting more comfortable with, each practice and be more reactive.
Are Thomas and Timmy, are they getting to a point where, they're going to compete with John Rice for the starting job, or is that a real competitive spot right now?
We got open competition at every, and then, Darren's done a good job of mixing those guys up with different groups to give us good information.
What's John Rice's plan today? How much did he play? And is he traveling for baseball today?
Yeah, he's on his way right now. He's planning on playing baseball too, and he was part of the scrimmage.
Was there a limit in how many snaps he played, or how much he played?
We had a plan, and I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 series and all that. And I think he's going to play a doubleheader. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. So it'll be interesting to see. But the thing about him, he hadn't missed any practices. And he's really done a solid job, and and not just offensively, but leading and all that. And then the fact that he can go play at a high level of baseball, it says a lot about him, and it's been impressive to watch.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the trenches and which side of the ball has really impressed you?
I think we have a chance to be good on both sides of the football. And, when we put our veteran defensive line in, and we got a real defensive line, the veteran guys. Then offensive line, we got quite a few new guys. It's been really good to see the competition. If you want to have a chance to win a championship, you've got to be good up front on both sides. So we're in the process of developing depth, but with the guys that we've had before, we know quite a bit about.
Gus, I want to ask a non-scrimmage question, but with the transfer portal and how schools have been able to use that, how much of analytics play a big part of that? How much does your staff put together little packets maybe of analytics for players? And then how much of it is really kind of your gut when it comes down to gut and the actual fit for your program?
Yeah, analytics, I don't know. You don't have a whole lot of time for analytics. I mean, you got to wait till they get in the portal, and you've got to make quicker decisions than ever before. We do have a process that we feel very good about that we learned over the last year or whatever. As far as when they go in the portal, break down the information, how we want to watch it, what is it, the position coach, the coordinator, the head coach. You got to make really quick decisions. That's probably the biggest thing we learned. But as far as analytics and be able to go back and all that, I mean, I would assume the only way you could do that is if you knew who already was going to the portal, which I don't think is legal.
How active do you think this spring portal season's going to be? And, obviously you've got to manage your own roster. Are there some positions after looking at spring where you think maybe you need some help?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we learned a lot last time the portal was open. I mean, we feel really good about our guys, and we're hopeful we can keep all of our guys. I think the big thing is if you lose somebody, you got to replace somebody. And that's the biggest, change in college football. So as a recruiting staff, you have to be prepared. But we're doing everything we can to keep our guys here, keep our roster intact. If we do that, it's going to be a lot of fun.
What's the goal from here on out to the spring game?
Yeah, this scrimmage, grading the scrimmage, kind of starting to put the pieces of the puzzle the last week, cleaning things up, getting a plan before spring game, and that's really we're going to practice Saturday. We're going to practice Tuesday. Originally, it was Monday and Wednesday. We went ahead and changed that to Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday will be more of a helmet-only prep for the scrimmage on Friday night, which I know our players are really excited about that.
You're talking about the schedule. I think you had some practices scheduled for after the spring game. How are you going to handle that?
Yeah, I always like one day after the spring game, and it's kind of for cleanup. And, if we want to film any drills or anything, the coach can work with them, and then we can, have it for the summer and, any kind of things like that. It's always good that last time.
Well, we've heard a lot about the running backs. Obviously, there's tremendous depth. There's a couple of them sitting behind us with Johnny and Jordan. How have you liked the running backs, and how deep do you think you are?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade our running back room, for any in the country. They're all extremely talented. They're all a little bit different, and I think that is really important. We've had great success in the past, before, when we've had, I think I've had 2 first-rounders on the same team before, and, 3 guys that played in the NFL before. So we're in that same mode as what we've had in the past. But our running backs are very talented.
Just one more thing. New age of college football. I know you got a big event tonight, the Kingdom. Are you going to be at that? That's part of the responsibilities now. Right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're real excited about that. SJ's headed that up, and looking forward to that event. And like I said, that's really important in the big picture. So real excited to see what happens. Thank y'all.